dari kota itu.
That important gate we were talking about,
Ya,
Damascus
jadi,
Gate.
Gerbang yang terpenting itu adalah gerbang Damaskus di bagian utara.
And you see neighborhoods that were already forming outside of the walls in the days of Jesus.
Jadi sudah ada rumah-rumah di luar dari gerbang kepada zaman Yesus.
But we are here inside this agricultural zone.
Jadi kita berada di daerah yang sebenarnya adalah pertanian.
You see here this skull-like shape in the side of the hill. So you were just sitting over here.
Jadi kita duduk di sini sekarang yang ditunjuk itu.
And we've now walked over here.
Dan kita turun ke sana tadi, itu yang skull tadi, tengkorak tadi.
Now we know because of archaeological findings that this area was used for agriculture in the days of Jesus.
Ya, jadi seperti ada penemuan arkeologi bahwa di sini adalah daerah pertanian pada zaman Yesus.
Because of different, installations to make oil, to make wine, things like that.
Ya, jadi sempat membuat minyak, anggur.
Right here, in this area, there's an ancient wine press showing that this place where we are right now specifically was a vineyard.
Ya, jadi di bagian sana ditemukan penemuan arkeologi mengenai tempat pemerasan anggur. Jadi memang daerah sini adalah perkebunan.
So that's why the artist paints it that way as well.
Ya, jadi disinilah gambar pada zaman tua.
Now in the Bible, in the Gospel according to John, it says that the tomb where Jesus was buried was inside a garden.
Jadi kemudian ada ayat mengatakan bahwa kuburan Yesus itu di dalam taman.
John also says that the tomb and the garden were very close to where Jesus was crucified.
Kemudian dikatakan juga bahwa kuburan itu dekat sekali dengan tempat Yesus disalibkan.
And all the Gospels describe the tomb as being a tomb that was cut into the rock, the kind of tomb that the upper class and upper middle class would use.
Ya, jadi saudara, kemudian dikatakan juga mengenai kuburan yang digunakan oleh orang-orang kelas atas.
Because, of course, it was not the tomb where Jesus would have been buried normally. It was the tomb of Joseph of Arimathea, a rich man and a member of the Jewish council who offered his tomb
Ya,
for
jadi
Jesus.
kuburan ini bukan milik Yesus, sebenarnya milik Yusuf Arimatea, orang kaya, dan dia adalah orang yang punya posisi penting di kalangan orang Yahudi.
Now, as you saw, there is an ancient Jewish tomb here in this site that you'll see soon.
Jadi saudara melihat di dalam,
Because it seems to fit these descriptions, many believe that it's the tomb where Jesus was buried.
ya, jadi karena sesuai dengan apa yang di dalam Alkitab, maka orang percaya bahwa disitulah lokasi dari kubur miliknya Yusuf Arimatea, tempat Yesus dibaringkan.
Again, there's no proof that this is the exact place,
Tidak ada bukti bahwa ini tempat yang tepat.
but it's certainly a place where we come to remember that Jesus is alive.
Ya, jadi seperti tempat di mana kita mengingat bahwa Yesus itu sudah dibangkitkan dan dia hidup.
When you go into the tomb, as you will in just a few
Jadi
minutes,
saudara waktu masuk ke dalam kuburan beberapa menit lagi,
you'll see that it's divided into two small rooms.
jadi seperti dibagi di dalam dua bagian.
Today, there's a modern fence dividing the two rooms. So you'll be gathering in the first room, which is where they would prepare bodies for burial.
Ya, jadi di bagian di luar ini adalah persiapan untuk penguburan mayat itu, jenazah Yesus.
And you can look inside into the inner chamber, which is where they buried people.
Ya, kemudian di bagian di dalam, disitulah tempat orang dikuburkan.
Almost all stone-cut tombs from the days of Jesus were intended for many people, family tombs, or sometimes for multiple families.
Jadi sebenarnya kuburan mereka itu bukan satu orang, tapi kuburan keluarga. Tepatnya seperti orang Toraja yang kuburan keluarga semua dimasukkan di situ.
There's almost no like single person tombs.
Ya, jadi hampir tidak ada kuburan di mana hanya untuk satu orang.
That's why also in the Bible it says that Jesus is buried in a new tomb that nobody was buried in yet, because it was very normal to be buried among the bones of your ancestors or among the bones of others, and it was unusual that in the case of Jesus it happened to be a new tomb and there was no other
Ya,
bones
jadi
there.
saudara, biasanya kalau orang dikubur pasti dia itu bukan kuburan baru, dia akan dimasukkan di kuburan yang sudah penuh tulang-tulang dari keluarganya, kerabatnya. Tapi Yesus ini dikubur di kuburan yang baru, belum dipakai.
But it was probably intended to be a family tomb. Certainly this tomb was intended to be a family tomb.
Ya, jadi kuburan ini mungkin dibuat bukan untuk kuburan keluarga.
Of course, the crosses are not from the days of Jesus, but they are old. The crosses were originally painted about 500 years after Christ.
Jadi pasti salib itu, gambar salib bukan dari zaman Yesus, tapi digambar sekitar 500 tahun sesudah Yesus.
And what you see here written in Greek is Yesus Christos Alpha Omega, Jesus Christ, the beginning and the end.
Ya, jadi ini adalah Yesus Kristus Alfa dan Omega.
In the Bible, we read that on Sunday morning, on the third day after the burial of Jesus,
Dikatakan pada hari Minggu, hari ketiga setelah Yesus dikuburkan.
some of his female followers were coming back to his tomb,
Jadi beberapa pengikut Yesus kembali datang ke kubur,
wanting to anoint his body with oils and with perfumes.
ingin mengolesi dengan minyak.
And on the way, Mark tells us that they are deeply concerned by a question: who will roll aside the stone for us?
Jadi waktu berperjalanan ke kubur, mereka bingung siapa yang bisa gulingkan itu batu penutup kuburan itu, karena berat sekali, karena mereka mau masuk dan mengurapi, meminyaki jenazah Yesus.
But it's ironic because when they get to the tomb, they become even more concerned, exactly because the stone has already been rolled aside.
Ya, tapi waktu mereka tiba lebih khawatir lagi karena ternyata batu itu sudah digulingkan.
And it's doubly ironic because they have no reason to be concerned, because when they rush into the tomb, an angel reveals himself and says, "Do not be afraid."
Ya, jadi mereka khawatir dan ketakutan, mereka pikir pasti khawatir, oh mayat Yesus tidak. Mereka kemudian ditenangkan oleh karena ada malaikat yang menampakkan diri.
The angel says, "You come seeking for Jesus of Nazareth who was crucified."
Jadi kamu datang mencari Yesus dari orang Nazaret yang disalibkan itu.
But he is not here, for he is risen.
Dia tidak ada di sini karena dia sudah dibangkitkan.
And so that's the thing. He's not there.
Dia tidak ada di sana.
That's also another reason why it really doesn't matter if you believe that this is a tomb or if you believe the tomb is somewhere else. In the end of the day, what's important is that he's not here.
Ya, jadi Yesus tidak ada. Kubur itu kosong karena dibangkitkan. Jadi pada akhirnya yang penting adalah bukan di mana sih tempatnya, lokasinya, yang penting adalah Yesus sudah dibangkitkan.
But Jesus does teach his disciples that wherever 2 or 3 gather in his name, he is there in their midst.
Ya, jadi Yesus mengatakan di mana ada 2-3 orang berkumpul, dia.
And in that sense, he is here and he will be with you as you go into the tomb, and he will be with you as you come out.
Imani bahwa dia ada di sini, dan dia ada bersama saudara-saudara masuk ke kuburannya.
So, come and see.
Mari kita lihat.
This is construction, so we're going to go around.
Kami menuju tempat Yesus dikuburkan. Versi orang Kristen Protestan ya, Bapak Ibu. Haleluya.